Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Produce Buzzers podcast. We are so happy you have joined us today, and I think you will be too after the show is over, because you will learn a lot about fresh fruits and vegetables, how to select and store them, how to prepare and cook them, and surprising facts about their history and origin. We hope it inspires you to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, not only for your health, but also for your delight and pleasure as you explore their amazing world of taste and delicious flavors. Eating more of them will transform your life in so many positive ways. So settle back, relax, and get ready for another delicious adventure with the Produce Buzzers. Welcome to another episode of the Produce Buzzers podcast. I'm your host, Edwin Stepp, and the executive editor of ProduceBuzz.com. I'm joined by Teresa Nolan, president and founder of Produce Buzz, along with Rick Stepp and Cynthia Benedetto, both contributors to Produce Buzz. Teresa, Rick, and I are siblings who grew up in the produce industry, working in our father's business, and then later with Teresa and her company that she formed to provide marketing and merchandising for the produce industry. Cynthia Benedetto is our adopted sibling, since she worked alongside of us in Teresa's company for many years. We are all so passionate about fresh fruits and veggies, and we hope to pass that along to you in these episodes. Well, Produce Buzzers podcast fans, a very special day is coming up. Valentine's Day is coming up in just a few days. The Day of Love, celebrated around the world. Well, here at Produce Buzz, our passions are running wild as we think about the crazy little thing called love. Yes, we are deeply in love with fruits and veggies. We love them all and do not discriminate. But as Valentine's Day approaches, we thought we would look into some fruits and veggies that have been thought to inspire love and passion throughout various cultures around the world and throughout history. History has woven quite a collection of folklore, mythology, and superstition around the sexual nature of food. If you look hard enough, you'll discover that pretty much every food has been touted as an aphrodisiac at one point or another in history. Maybe by the growers, sellers, and or marketers of them, primarily, trying to get better sales. But the connection makes sense on a certain level. Eating is a primal need associated with pleasure, somewhat akin to arousal. While most of aphrodisiac mythology stems from foods with symbolic colors or shapes, certain foods do contain properties that stimulate pleasure centers in the brain. Whether or not these foods can actually enhance amorous feelings is up for debate, though. But there is no doubt that fruits and veggies contain many healthy benefits that keep us vital and youthful, which may be the biggest boost to our sexual desires. So I asked the Produce Buzzers to tell us about some of their favorite love fruits for this Valentine's Day podcast, and give us the story behind why they are considered to enhance our desires or to be aphrodisiacs. No doubt our listeners are already thinking of a few fruits that are associated with love, and particularly on Valentine's Day, but stick around to hear what we dug up as we looked into this steamy subject. You may be very surprised to learn about some of the fruits and veggies that made our list. So let's get started. We're going to go around the table here and let each of our Produce Buzzers tell us about what they found. But first of all, which one of our Produce Buzzers thinks they found the most surprising aphrodisiac in the fruit and veggie kingdom?
Oh, I think I did.
Oh, great.
I found two. And okay, so the first one, it will seem like a very odd choice for romance, but it is garlic.
Garlic?
Yes, there you go.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
both people have to be eating it, I assume. But
yes, it would help if both people are consuming it, but in China, it actually symbolizes luck and fertility.
Hmm.
And it was used as an aphrodisiac by ancient Chinese rulers. So
Wow.
There you go. There is a substance called allicin in it that helps your arteries and veins actually widen. It's That's a process known as vasodilation. And when this happens, higher amounts of blood are able to flow through the veins. And as a result, more oxygen is delivered throughout your body, including your lungs and other areas that are used while exercising. So it also delivers more energy to your brain, helps your brain function better.
Which
And
is the most important sexual organ, as most people think. I think you know.
oh yeah, true, true. Because of its highly pungent odor, it could be used, strangely enough, as a remedy for bad breath. Can you believe that?
Wow. No, I've not
Uh,
heard that before.
yeah. So while it makes your breath unpleasant in the short term, over a long period of time, it could actually help kill bacteria that are responsible for causing chronic bad breath.
Hmm.
So,
That makes sense.
yeah. So it's interesting the stuff that is in this wonderful allium also can be damaged by heat. So the heat will break down that sulfurous compound and it caramelizes the sugars. The problem is that when you heat garlic, like other alliums, the allicin that's in it gets destroyed. That's the thing that gives it its most healthy benefits. So the best thing to do is to chop the garlic and let it sit for a little while before you actually cook it. And that will help it retain more of its allicin. As a vasodilator, you can think of another medication that was used. It was actually developed for blood pressure regulation, and it famously kicks in about an hour after you take it.
Is that a blue pill?
A little blue pill, yes.
So I wonder if they
So,
made it with garlic.
that would be really interesting to find out what the ingredients of that is.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. So, and then the second one is spinach.
Spinach?
Yeah,
Oh, wait a
Popeye
minute.
would Popeye
Yeah.
would be happy to hear that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, it made him stronger. I guess it could work a few other places too, right? Well, it made his biceps bulge, so I guess it could make some other places bulge.
Yeah, right. Now, Cynthia, you may know this, that in Japan, spinach is a symbol of secret love. And people would wrap their presents in spinach green paper as an expression of passion. So, and the word for spinach in Japanese is similar to the word that means to fall in love or secret love. So when a person gives another person a gift that is wrapped in the same color green as spinach, he or she is expecting love without saying words. Just a little
Oh.
something.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Do you know what that word is?
Yes, I do. I just
You want to
wasn't sure.
spell it?
Horenso. Edwin, maybe you can say it.
H-O what? H-O-R.
Horenso. That means spinach. And the word for to fall in love or secret love is Horeru.
Poor are you?
So the word for spinach, would you pronounce it horenso? To fall in love is horeru.
Horeru. Okay. All right. Good for you. That's great. Thanks for clearing that up. So spinach is great for your heart. There are a few vegetables that can beat out spinach for cardiac health, and you need a good heart to keep going there. It's also good for your skin, so it might make you more attractive to the other person. Its high alkaline properties will allow spinach to kill off bacteria that could cause acne. Has high levels of vitamin A, which are also good for your skin. And something really interesting that I did not know was that you can take spinach and put it in a blender and add some honey to it and put it on your head if you're losing hair. And it's supposed to help your hair grow. Now, the problem is, I think if you put spinach on your hair, it could turn your hair green. I don't know. So maybe people wouldn't notice that you were losing your hair, but they might notice that you had green hair, which would not be that unusual these days.
That's true. Great toupee. Make a great toupee.
Yeah, there you go. Well, so, and then the other thing that's really interesting is that spinach is good for acid reflux. So baby spinach in particular is good for treating that. And just, you can eat it raw or lightly cooked, and you'll get the best results.
That's romantic.
Yeah.
Well, if your partner makes you gag, that can help.
There might be larger problems looming.
You got it. And I think I've mentioned before that some of the leading cardiologists say that you can heart attack proof yourself by eating just 5 handfuls of spinach, greens type a day. So it's all good for you.
Let's get the cardiologist on the line.
Yeah.
Cynthia is always demanding proof.
Make sure that we put the disclaimers on today.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor. I just play one on a podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's interesting. Spinach and garlic. Who would have thunk it? But that's very interesting. Well, Rick, what did you find in the fruit and veggie aphrodisiac world?
Well, I'm really disappointed because I was going to get my wife chocolate-covered strawberries for Valentine's Day, but now I'm going to give her garlic and spinach.
Yeah.
Chocolate-covered garlic. There you go.
I had to think about it for about 3 seconds, and I realized, obviously, the most romantic of the fruits or vegetables would be strawberries, because all you have to do is go online and search chocolate covered, or just Google strawberries for Valentine's Day, and all of the products that are available, mostly chocolate covered strawberries, pop up, and all the retailers promote them. There's a company called Sherry's Berries that you've probably heard the radio commercials for.
Yeah.
And chocolate is one thing that they claim is an aphrodisiac, and it's also very romantic, and strawberries are romantic as well. So I think that if the guys out there are looking for a fruit or vegetable to give their spouse or their girlfriend for Valentine's Day, they should consider strawberries.
Yep. That's got to be the primary fruit for Valentine's Day, at least in the States. I'm sure it is internationally as well. But guys, don't give your sweetheart spinach and garlic. You might eat it, or maybe take her to a nice meal at a great restaurant where it's a fixed course with spinach and garlic. Anyway.
And make sure you give her a vacuum cleaner too after
and an iron.
Well, don't stop there, Cyrano. I'm sure there's some other sweet ideas you have.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that website that you said, Rick, the Sherry's Berries, and the items look lovely, and they are, of course, all strawberries, but there's just something about the Valentine's Day, like the red, the white, the pink. It is just so lovely.
Yeah, and red and pink are the colors of Valentine's Day. Strawberries are probably the most romantic fruit and the most popular fruit for Valentine's Day, probably because of the colors. So why are strawberries so often linked with romance? There's plenty about strawberries that make them enticing. Well, let's face it, they even look like little bright red hearts. Next to chocolate, strawberries are one of the most widely known aphrodisiacs. In fact, chocolate-covered strawberries were originally paired together because they're two of the world's most famous aphrodisiacs. Today, chocolate-covered strawberries are a common Valentine's Day treat and are often found on buffet tables at weddings. The history of the strawberry dates back to ancient Rome, where the fruit was considered the symbol of Venus, the goddess of love, because of its bright red color and enticing taste. Later, the berry became a symbol of fertility due to its many exterior seeds. The fruit looks so alluring, in fact, that strawberries were carved into church altars and cathedral pillars in medieval times to represent perfection. Legend has it that when two people split a strawberry, they'll fall in love. Whether or not strawberries are truly the aphrodisiac that they're said to be, there's no denying that their appeal on the plate is very romantic. I really can't think of anything that's more romantic in the fruit and vegetable kingdom than the strawberries.
You know that strawberries are in the same family as the rose?
That's right.
So.
Yes, you told us that in a previous episode when Teresa told us all about strawberries. So that is interesting. Roses and strawberries on Valentine's Day. Very good.
Yeah.
In fact, since people are going to be buying strawberries for Valentine's Day soon, let's listen again to that little segment about how to select and store them, especially.
Strawberries are considered a food of love, representative of the goddess Freya. They symbolize luck and love and are in the same plant family as the rose. A 1-cup serving of strawberries provide 180% of the USDA daily recommendation of vitamin C. Their potassium content helps to maintain healthy blood pressure. The red color in berries come from anthocyanins. In vitro, that is in the lab, anthocyanins seem to absorb free radicals. It's therefore speculated that these same chemicals may have similarly strong antioxidant capabilities in the body. So eating berries may lower your risk for certain diseases like cancer and arthritis. When you purchase strawberries, look for shiny fruit with no bruising. Refrigerate them in their original package at 32 to 34 degrees Fahrenheit, and wait just before you're ready to use them to rinse them with cold water. Their flavor can be enhanced if you let the berries come to room temperature. And that's the strawberry report.
Very good. Why is it that you should wait to wash them?
Because strawberries have a protective coating on their outside, and when you wash them, that takes some of that protective coating off, and they'll start to disintegrate and pretty rapidly after that. So
is that true with other berries too, or is it just strawberries? I mean, what about raspberries and blackberries? You know?
Yeah, raspberries are extremely fragile, and you really want to handle them very carefully. It's better to wait and wash them. Blueberries might be a little bit more durable, but I think for the most part, you're better off just waiting to just before you want to use them to wash them.
Right. Okay.
Of course, the trick would be to refrigerate strawberries from 32 to 34 degrees. Most refrigerators are set around 40. So you'd have to have a special cooler of some kind to keep them at 32 to 34 in your refrigerator.
Well, put them in the refrigerator anyway.
Yeah. I have a hard time because my refrigerator has been freezing my romaine. So I don't have a problem with that.
Well, the best thing is get those strawberries and eat them fast, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Good point.
Very good. So, Cynthia, what did you find in the love fruits category?
Nothing compared to these two. I don't know the history, I just want on just pure visual attraction. And I think the raspberry would be my choice if I was making something for Valentine's Day. But since I'm off added sugar, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do.
Whoa, raspberries have enough sugar, and that's a great choice. Raspberries.
Yeah, but if I wanted to make
romantic.
a raspberry souffle, or if I wanted to make a raspberry cake, you need the other stuff. So I'm kind of I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep this up, but
You know, if you did a mixed berry dessert, just mixed berries, and
Mhm.
top it with some walnuts, the walnuts would give you the feeling that you had something almost like a crust on it. So you'd feel like you were eating a berry pie, maybe.
well, that's certainly a nice suggestion. Thank you. But I'd be willing to bet if I had a mound of fresh berries, sweet as they could be, and you threw some walnuts on it, it is not going to have the same satisfaction as a pie.
No.
But thank you for your offer. It was very thoughtful.
I've tried several substitutes, and there is no substitute for sugar and pie and all that. It's, you know, there's nothing that will substitute for that.
No, but I was looking at some recipes by these, like nutty people, but some of them don't sound bad in terms of one of the recipes suggested to do to soak chickpeas. So you get the raw ones, you soak them like you would, any bagged bean, and then you can cook them off in the oven because they get crunchier than the ones that are canned. And then if you do get dark chocolate, at least 70%, I think that's considered a healthy choice. And then, so what she did was then melted the chocolate and kind of made like a chickpea cluster, if you will. That was a little interesting. And, some other things that I'm just kind of poking around looking for some inspiration right now.
Yeah. Go with the 90% chocolate. You'll never gorge yourself on 90% chocolate.
Yeah.
But believe me, I've searched for substitute for sugar and there is no substitute. You just have to the only hope is to train yourself not to crave sugar. Yeah. When we went to my brother's funeral a year ago, September, I had been not eating any sugar at all for about a year. And all the people brought brownies and all kinds of really good desserts. And I thought, I'm gonna have one of those. I don't know if it wasn't a brownie, it was some kind of dessert that was really high sugar. And I could actually feel the sugar rushing to my head. It was like a drug. But if you eat it every day, you won't notice that. But if you eat it occasionally, you can actually feel your body reacting to it. And I can say that as a former sugar addict. I'm still an addict.
I am too. I am, 2 days on the wagon, 3 days,
Yeah.
And, my daughter and husband tried to do an intervention. And and of course, like I was like cooking something or whatever. And then I got up because I had to pull it out of the oven. And they're like, Mom, like what? She just got up and walked away. We were doing our intervention. And she's like, yeah, right. I go, no, I wasn't like dismissing you guys. I just had to do something.
Yeah. It's an ongoing battle because it's like I don't crave cocaine because I've never taken cocaine, but sugar is something that we've all grown up eating and very difficult to avoid it.
Or more addictive than cocaine, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
And
especially since it's readily available everywhere you go.
It's in everything. I think that if I had a problem with alcohol, I just wouldn't have it in my house. I wouldn't go to bars. Keep yourself away from like direct alcohol contact. Good luck with that in dieting.
Yeah.
So now like we've gone from like, oh, lover's an aphrodisiac to like suicide prevention in like one conversation.
Well, I love desserts, and but I rarely ever eat them anymore. I've kind of sworn off desserts and candy and all of that stuff for the most part. But I get my calories in other ways.
So you just wanted to abstain from desserts? Why?
Well, for the obvious reasons, but once I started doing it, it became much more easy. And I like, if I go out to a restaurant, I'm never tempted to order dessert. I rarely buy any kind of desserts to have in the house. Not that I wouldn't, if I had, like you were saying, if I had them in the house, I probably would eat them. But normally, when I finish my meal and I let it settle, I don't have any desire for it really. If it's in the fridge, I probably would maybe get up and go get it a little later. One of my favorite desserts is key lime pie, and somebody gave me a key lime pie for my birthday, and that didn't last 3 days, I don't think.
Well, it's funny because the cookies that I sent you with the chocolate kisses in the middle, like, ho hum, you've seen them everywhere, and I'll sit and eat almost a whole batch by myself and just to make sure that they're good. But the chocolate kisses, I have a half a bag downstairs, and that just does not speak to me. So you could have it in the house, and I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, I'm
but
the
if
same
it's
way.
something
There's
I
certain
really
desserts,
like,
there's certain desserts
mm-hmm.
I'll never touch, or not never touch, but they don't appeal to me. But your cookies, they didn't last long either. I'm just glad you sent a limited amount. Okay, back to our Valentine's Day theme. I guess it's my turn now to reveal my favorite aphrodisiac fruit for Valentine's Day. So one of the first in history that was recognized as an aphrodisiac was the pomegranate. Of course, pomegranates are one of the oldest fruits known to man, cultivated many thousands of years ago in Iran and across the Middle East. 8,000 to 10,000 years ago, they believe, when they were first cultivated. The word aphrodisiac actually comes from the name of a Greek goddess, Aphrodite. She was the goddess of love, and she is believed to have been the first to plant a pomegranate tree. Also in Greek mythology, there's a myth of Persephone. Persephone was also a goddess, but she was the goddess of harvest and agriculture, which fits in with our Produce Buzz theme. She was the daughter of Zeus, the god at the top of the pantheon, and her mother was Demeter. When Hades, the god of the underworld, first saw Persephone, it was love at first sight. At that moment, he set his mind to capture her and take her back to the underworld with him. It's a long, convoluted story, but to make it short and get to the point, he gives her, at some point in this escapade, some delicious, irresistible pomegranate seeds. She eats them, and she is bound to him and eventually becomes the queen of the underworld. You see, pomegranates were a symbol of the indissolubility of marriage. So that's the reason she was bound then forever to Hades. The Egyptians also believed pomegranates were a fruit of love, and there's an Egyptian poem from 1500 BC that still survives called the Flower Song. And one stanza says, "To hear your voice is pomegranate wine to me. I draw life from hearing it. Could I see you with every glance, it would be better for me than to eat or drink." So romantic. In the Near and Far East, throughout history, brides smash pomegranates after their wedding ceremony, and the number of seeds that pop out will be the number of children she will bear in the marriage.
Oh.
Wow, that's taking a chance, huh?
Yes, either way. There's a lot of seeds in a pomegranate, so that could be dangerous. Cynthia, did you smash a pomegranate on your wedding?
Yeah, which one?
Well, there is something about pomegranates, as I think I mentioned in the intro, most fruits and vegetables do have some nutritional benefits that can contribute to sexual vitality. In 2011, there was a study done in a university in Edinburgh, Scotland, that found that drinking pomegranate juice daily lowered cortisol levels, which can correspond with increased testosterone in both men and women. Elevated testosterone can lead to heightened moods and increased sexual desire. And according to the International Journal of Impotence Research, that's on your shelf, isn't it, Rick?
Yes.
Don't you subscribe to that?
Yes.
Riveting reading. A double-blind study on men with mild to moderate erectile dysfunction showed improvement when treated with pomegranate juice. So there is something to it. Nutritional science has revealed simple facts about the health benefits of pomegranates. Those perhaps who came before us, the Greeks, the Egyptians, and thereof, may have instinctively known. Pomegranates are among the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. They offer key ingredients to a satisfying sex life, including fiber, water, potassium, manganese, and folate, which supplies fertility. Most remarkably, pomegranates are among the finest natural source of those antioxidants that keep us looking and feeling youthful. The simple prospect of a fruit as a potential fountain of youth is an aphrodisiac to anyone. So pomegranates are one of the oldest fruits. Some believe that might have been the fruit in the Garden of Eden. There's a lot of debate about what fruit that might have been in the Garden of Eden, but pomegranates were one of them. So those are our fruits of love. We came across some others that we won't go into a lot of detail about, but I was surprised at some of the ones. I think in a previous episode, we talked about celery, and celery was considered an aphrodisiac in the Renaissance era, especially. Casanova was known to have consumed a tremendous amount of celery, believing that it would add to his sexual prowess, I might say. There were some other fruits and veggies that are listed. We won't go into detail on them, but Teresa, you found some others.
Yeah.
What are some others you found?
I even saw carrots and bananas, and I don't know whether it has anything to do with their shape, but
The phallic symbols. No, it was not
Right.
phallic symbols. It was supposed to be aphrodisiacs, but one could argue.
They don't have any. They don't do anything for me.
Are you using them appropriately though? Correctly, I should say.
Okay, let's not get too graphic here. I even saw asparagus and artichoke have been thought to be aphrodisiacs in the past. So,
chances are if you eat lots of fruits and vegetables, you're going to be healthier. So that's probably where it goes.
that's the lesson, I think, from today's. But we do wish you a very happy Valentine's Day, and hopefully you're not giving spinach to your loved one, but chocolate-covered strawberries. So, Produce Buzzers podcast fans, it's time for your favorite segment on the Produce Buzzers podcast. Okay, we know it's not, but it's time once again for you to endure a homegrown. Teresa, what is our homegrown of the day?
What does garlic do when it gets hot?
Okay, what does garlic do when it gets hot? Go swimming? No. Rick, what does garlic do when it gets hot?
Spices things up.
Not
That's
the I'm
very
looking
good.
for, but that
Oh,
works. So go ahead.
Yes.
Come on, Cynthia, you've got to guess. Come on, guess. All
I
right,
don't know.
Teresa.
It burns. I know that.
Okay, so what does garlic do when it gets hot? Takes its cloves off.
All right, guess to get garlic hot, you better take the clothes off.
Yeah, that the meaning of hot could be taken two different ways there, I think.
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay.
I would also like to disclose that this podcast is for people over the age of 50. all of you young people out there who listen, please do not use any of these aphrodisiacs. You don't need any aphrodisiacs.
Just be scared of what's coming.
Oh, that reminds me of something Teresa was telling me beforehand about the avocado. The avocado was considered an aphrodisiac in the Aztec culture. What did you learn about that, Teresa?
That during harvest, the avocado farmers would make their daughters, they would lock their daughters in the house to keep them away from men during the avocado season because they believed avocados were an aphrodisiac. So there.
So,
Just another excuse for, abusing women.
yeah, that's right. And like Hades abducting Persephone, with his pomegranate seeds.
Yeah, you don't hear too much about that nonsense, but you hear old Eve. She just had to ruin everything because Adam couldn't control himself, and she gave him an apple.
Yeah. And it probably was an avocado. I'm just guessing.
I tell you what, it would be for me. That would be the fruit that I couldn't resist. If God told me don't eat of the tree of the avocado, I would think I would probably be giving in.
Yeah,
that is avocado is like ambrosia to me. So good. Well, that concludes our special Valentine's Day podcast here at Produce Buzz. Thanks for joining us. Here's wishing you and all your loved ones a very special day on Valentine's Day. Celebrate with lots of delicious fruits and veggies to spice up the evening and heighten the excitement. Spread lots of love on that day and every day. We need more of it everywhere in today's world of all too much unpleasantness, malice, and even hatred. And it has been proven in many studies that if you are eating lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, your mood will be much better. And if your mood is better, you'll be able to share much more love with everyone in your life. And speaking of sharing the love, please take a second before you leave to subscribe and or follow our podcast on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. We are on over 10 different podcast feeds, including YouTube. And if you want to help support this podcast by making a donation, we would be so grateful. Just go to anchor.fm/produce-buzz, and you will see a support button below the podcast description. Click on it, give what you can. No amount is too small, and, of course, no amount is too large. Thank you, listeners, and good night. Well, thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Produce Buzzers podcast, brought to you by Produce Buzz, the gathering place for lovers of fresh fruits and veggies. We hope you were entertained a bit and educated a lot about fresh produce. Be sure to join us next time, and please tell your friends to do so as well. Like, share, and comment on our Produce Buzz Facebook page, and check out our website at www.producebuzz.com. There you will find articles about fresh fruits and veggies, how to select, store, and prepare them, as well as lots of interesting facts about all the wonderful bounty the earth provides for us. Until next time, be fruitful and don't forget to veg out.